So, a statistic that you hear commonly in the world of psychology is that 1 in 4 people living in the United States suffer from some kind of mental abnormality. A very interesting statistic when you look at it, but there's clearly more than 4 people living in the United States. In fact, there's about 300 million. That means there's about 70 to 80 million, each with their own struggle and their own story. But what really comes down to is not how they tell their story only for themselves to give themselves confidence, but how they inspire others to do work in what they have done and to see their success. Dr. Julian Seifter, a doctor from Harvard Medical, said this on people who are suffering from these illnesses. You are not an illness. You have an individual story to tell. You have a name, a history, and a personality. Staying yourself is part of the battle. My name is Chad Brown, and I have a story to tell. On the outside, I might look more or less like your ordinary college student. You might be right, but it's what puts me on the stage is what's in here. At age 3, I was diagnosed with mild autism and ADHD, among other things. And the funny thing about it is I feel like I've known it forever. Ever since I was young in preschool, I always did things differently. I had lots of therapy. I don't remember it clearly, but I remember it happening. And in elementary school, the same kind of pattern happened. It was actually even more prominent. Other kids started to saw it. Others started to kind of see it, and I started to understand it a little bit. But as I grew up going in through middle school and high school, I started to really see the gravity of the situation I was in when I was younger. I saw firsthand the things I couldn't have been able to do if I didn't get the right help at the right time, and that includes presenting to such a wonderful audience. But here I am now, UMBC. Best place in the world. Really, really is. Might be stressful here and there, but learning more about myself than ever. Former New Jersey Governor Richard Codey said this: "For too long, we have swept the problems of mental illness under the carpet, thinking they would just go away." A name you might have heard in the news within the last month or so is Suzanne Wright. Her grandson was diagnosed with autism around age 3, like I was. But in a similar situation like mine, or this was around the mid-90s, there wasn't really much known about it. And so what happened was Suzanne and her husband, Robert, they took upon doing their own work and seeing what they could do. And what the product was something amazing. Probably the largest disability group out there. And it's been 11 years since Autism Speaks was founded, and it's still going strong. Not just because of what they did to start it, it's because of all the people who backed them up. And that's kind of where I come in, because I want to do that same thing. What I want to do after I'm done here is either grad school or med school. I'm open to either one. But I want to do some kind of neuroscience work, whether it be helping out the families in practice or in the lab trying to work out the mechanics behind it all. As an audience, I invite you to do 2 things. First thing, for those of you who suffer yourselves, because you really never know, right? Reach out to your friends. Reach out to your families. Really makes a difference. Thank them for every single thing they do for you. It makes, I can relate to this personally. My mother is the greatest person in the world. I love her very much. She has been there through everything. And I'd be sure to tell her I love her every day, even though she can be a bit annoying sometimes. And for those of you who who are the friends and family who know people who suffer, thank them back, because they'll put you down a little bit because they don't know that person won't understand what they're going through, and they'll kind of blame you for it. But really doesn't matter, because as long as you have their back, it just speaks for itself. I think they should, the person that is the person that's suffering, I'm sorry, the person that is suffering, their lives will certainly be touched, and you won't understand how great it really is. Thank you.